Hello, Bonnie Eagle. My name is Lori Napolitano. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Schools, and I just wanted to take a few moments to talk to our hourly employees. Mainly, I want to answer some frequently asked questions. I know a lot of you have gotten several emails and letters from me, from Mr. Penna, from your supervisors, from Human Resources, from payroll. So just to make sure that we're clear and that we put everybody's minds at ease. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the hard work you're doing. Many of you have to come in still every day and work on the front lines during this closure, preparing meals, delivering items, delivering meals, cleaning buildings, doing maintenance projects, uh, doing our data entry and bookkeeping, getting payroll out. Thank you so much for all you do. That said, I do want to stress that everyone is still going to get paid for their regular hours during this closure, provided they're willing to work as assigned. What that means is, as long as you every day are available and you are able to do the work provided by your supervisors and you complete that work, you will be paid for your full regular hours. So if I'm a 30-hour a week ed tech and I normally work 30 hours, but each day I'm getting assignments from the special ed director or from my supervising teacher or my building principal, and I'm completing those assignments. Even if those assignments don't add up to 30 hours, I will get paid for the full 30 hours as long as I'm available and working. Some weeks I might only work 15 hours and the next week I might work 25. We aren't really sure how it's all going to work out. In order to maintain everybody in benefits, we are working hard to make sure that everyone gets at least 15 hours a week that is logged work time. So how do you track your hours? You need to track your hours in two ways if you're working from home. So first, you need to track your hours in frontline. If you're coming on site to work, driving a bus, making lunches, coming in the building to do work at your desk, then you just punch in and out as usual. If you're working remotely from your home using a laptop, then you need to log into Frontline and put in comments for the hours that you've worked. Directions for this have been provided and sent out. If you need copies of those, or if you're still unsure, check with your building secretary or admin assistant who normally takes care of your payroll. Then, in addition to that, if you're an instructional ed tech or a secretary, you also need to journal what you're actually doing at home. So your building principal or your supervisor should be providing you a log to do that. That might be a Google form that you fill in. It might be a spreadsheet, but you're going to be tracking your actual work. So in Frontline, I might write, worked remotely with students 3 hours. And then in my journal, I'd be more specific. Worked online with student JB for 30 minutes reviewing vocabulary. 60 minutes spent calling 7 students to check in and see how they're doing, and so on and so on. So you completed a webinar online 1 hour. So whatever you're doing as assigned, you're just going to journal that and put specific information in the journal. That way we have something that the administrators can verify. They can look at what work you're actually doing versus what you put in Frontline. But also we will have a running record and documentation of the work we're doing with students, which we may need later on. So that's tracking time. For those of you who don't want to work, or you can take unpaid days. If you have accrued vacation, you can take vacation time during this closure. You just need to put it in Frontline as you normally would. If you are sick and you can't do work at home or otherwise, you should be putting in sick time in Frontline just as you usually do. The government has expanded what makes somebody eligible for FMLA, because I know some of you might be looking at long-term illness or you're taking care of a loved one. So later this week, the updated requirements for FMLA will be coming out. So stay tuned for those. For some of you who might need to take time off to care for someone or to care for yourself, you'll want to have that handy. Buildings are open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, but we do not want people in buildings if at all possible. Only necessary personnel who need to work on site, such as custodial and maintenance or kitchen workers, should be primarily the only people working in the buildings. If you do need to come in and get materials or run things off or be in a workspace for a few hours packing bags or something, make sure you check with your building administrator and follow their expectations. They may ask you to work only in a certain part of the building and only be there for a certain amount of time. This is so that we don't put too much stress on the custodians because they have to go behind and re-clean every space that we go into and mess up during the day or that we touch during the day. And it's really hard for those custodians to try to do all their cleaning in the last hour of the day because people are hanging out. So even though the buildings are open from 7 to 3, if you must come in and work, we're asking that you come in and get that done in the morning and that you check with your administrator. We also have some newer, stricter guidelines from the governor around the workplace, as you all might have heard yesterday. So you might be getting new instructions from your manager or supervisor around working in your offices or in your buildings. Maybe we're going to be limiting the number of people in those spaces. We're going to make sure that people are working in a more spread out manner than maybe you have been the last couple of weeks. Really maintaining social distance, alternating your days. I'm in the office one day, someone else is the next day, or flexing your time so that we absolutely have minimal people in the buildings, at least for the next couple of weeks. If you have questions about any of this, please don't hesitate to contact your supervisor or your building principal, or you can email or call me. We're all going to get through this together. Have a great day, Bonnie Eagle.